I'm going to tell you why you should never do the car test, ever. Hi, my name is Tyson. I'm a mastering engineer here at Dinosaur Dog Mastering, and today we're going to be talking about referencing your mixes in different environments and why you should not reference inside of your car or really any other area other than your mixing environment. The first point that I have with this is your mixing environment should be as good as possible. So you should have some treatment, take care of the first reflections of your monitoring situation, if you're monitoring with actual monitors other than headphones, or figure out some way to monitor effectively, whether that's getting sound ID reference for your headphones and or speakers in your room to try to balance the frequency spectrum. Great idea to do that, but make sure that your mixing environment is as good as possible. You can listen to the mix as objectively as possible within that mixing environment, because that is the critical part of where you're actually going to be making these decisions inside of your mix. Now let's shift away from the actual mixing room into why testing things in your car is not a good idea. Every single car is different. So out front of my house, I have parked an F-150. Those speakers inside of that F-150 are all mid-rangey. There's no bass and there's no treble. It's just all the mid-range. And I don't want to monitor my mixes on that or even test it necessarily, because most people go to their car to find out what the bass is like. And my car has no bass. So why would I test my mix in a car that doesn't have bass to check my bass? Just doesn't make sense. Even if your car does have good bass frequency response, it's likely going to be over or underemphasized in certain areas. Maybe the 40 hertz range is just blasting in your car, but you have no, say, 80 hertz. And every single system is different, and so I can't tell you what is generically true for every car because I don't know. And even if you have the same exact system, a car is not a perfect listening environment. You're not centered inside of the car, so the left side is going to be louder if you're sitting in the driver's seat and you're not in the UK than the right side. So there's just so many variabilities inside of a car. It's really not a great listening environment. The one exception that I will give to this idea is that oftentimes people are very used to listening to things inside of their car, and so they know that environment fairly well. But if you know that environment better than your own mixing environment, you probably have an issue, and you should probably fix your mixing environment to then be more familiar and more effective than your car. At the end of the day, the true measure that we want to get to is more of an objective, well-balanced sonic spectrum inside of our mix. And that's kind of my wheelhouse as a mastering engineer. I help people get there, get the last 10% of their mix into that objective, actual, this is the industry standard type of sonic balance inside of your mixing. And I don't reference anywhere other than my mastering studio, which I'm in right now, because it's effective. It's the best way to actually monitor your mix. If you don't trust your mixing environment, which is probably a lot of you, and you don't have very good treatment inside of your room, I have two things for you. The first thing that is better than a car is using a frequency analyzer. And I just released a video on how to learn EQ using frequency analyzers. And that is a very effective way and an objective way to view your mix and know what is actually happening inside of your mix. And then the second thing is use references. You can view your references through your frequency analyzer and understand where the energy lies in those mixes and then compare it to your own. And if there's massive differences between your reference and yours, you obviously have issues that you then can fix. And that's going to get you way closer to a professional mix and a professional sonic balance than simply a car test. And it'll also give you a more accurate view of what the low end looks like as well if you're using your car for that. Don't use the car test. Stop it. It's wasting time. You're wasting so much time going out to your car and then back again, just printing files, etc. Just don't do it, okay? The most effective way to do it is fix your mixing environment if at all possible. Get Sound ID reference in order to fix your sonic balance inside of your room if you can. And then third, use references and your frequency analyzers to actually know objectively what's happening inside of your mix so that any blaring issues that you would otherwise have found out in your car, potentially, will then be apparent without having to go anywhere. You'll be in your normal environment and you'll be able to build that relationship between your reference and your own mix way faster. So I hope this was helpful, a little bit different than my normal tutorials, but if you found this at all helpful, don't forget to subscribe as I release videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to help you get better mixes. Okay, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.